Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitaniya Caritamita, Adilila, chapter 8, text 74. Darshana kari kailon, charana vandana, Gosai dasha pujare kare charana sevana. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When I visited the temple of Madan Mohan, the priest Gosai Das was serving the feet of the Lord, and I also prayed at the Lord's lotus feet. So yesterday we heard that how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he got the mercy of Guru and Krishna to write this great transcendental literature, great transcendental literature about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So there were so many devotees who asked him to write the Caitanya Caritamita, and he still wanted to get the permission of Madan Mohan deity, and so he went to the temple of Madan Mohan and prayed at the Lord's lotus feet. Prabhura charane yadi ajna magila Prabhu kanta haite mala khasiya parila. When I prayed to the Lord for permission, a garland from his neck immediately slipped down. So he bowed down to the deity and to Madan Mohan, and he was asking Madan Mohan's permission that shall I write Caitanya Caritamrita? And to give the permission, Madan Mohan, the garland that was there on Madan around him, that slipped down. Sabha Vaishnav Gana Hari Dwani Dila Gosai Das Ani Mala Mura Gale Dila. As soon as this happened, the Vaishnavas standing there all loudly chanted Hari Bol. And the priest Gosai Das brought me the garland and put it around my neck. So they all understood that this is Lord Madan Mohan's consent. Ajna mala pana mar haila ananda tahani karino e grantera arambha. I was greatly pleased to have the garland signifying the order of the Lord. And then and there I commenced to write this book. E grantha lekhiya mora Madan Mohan amar likhana yena shukera patana. Actually, Sri Caitanya Caritamrita is not my writing, but the dictation of Sri Madan Mohan. My writing is like the repetition of a parrot. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I'm not writing this. This Madan Mohan is telling me to write, and I'm repeating like a parrot whatever he's telling me. You know, if we were to write something, you'll say, of course, it's me, I'm writing it. But here is a Vaishnava. He's saying, no, it's not me. It is being dictated to me by Madan Mohan. So this is a spiritual book. It is a transcendental literature that we are reading, not ordinary material literature. This should be the attitude of all devotees. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead recognizes a devotee, he gives him intelligence and dictates how he may go back home, back to Godhead. Krishna is sitting in our heart. When he sees our sincere endeavor, he gives the intelligence to us how we can go back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna is saying, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, means the pure devotees. You know, they are serving Krishna with love. They are serving him constantly. And he is giving them the understanding of how they can go back to him. Krishna is in our heart. He is the Paramatma. And he is saying that by him the intelligence is given, how we can go back home, back to Godhead. The opportunity to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is open to everyone. Why? Because every living entity is constitutionally a servant of the Lord. So it's not that Krishna is giving this opportunity only to a few selected people, you know, uh, who are in a particular country or a particular family or a particular community. No, it's open for every living entity. So not only human beings, but even any living entity in any part of the material creation. Why? Because to engage in the service of the Lord is the natural function of the living entity. But because he's covered by the influence of Maya, the material energy, he thinks it to be a very difficult task. Actually, our original activity is devotional service. It is the Sanatan Dharma of every soul. So originally, constitutionally, we are always engaged in bhakti. But right now, we are under this this curtain of Maya. We are covered by her influence. She has covered our capability to engage in bhakti. And so we are thinking, oh, it's so difficult, it's so difficult. But if he places himself under the guidance of a spiritual master and does everything sincerely, immediately the Lord, who is situated within everyone's heart, dictates how to serve him. Tadami buddhi yogam tam. So we engage in devotional service under the guidance of a spiritual master. We can't be whimsical about it, because whimsical, we can make up anything and everything. So we take the guidance of a spiritual master, follow his instructions, do everything sincerely. Then Krishna, who is in our heart, Krishna sees our sincerity. He sees our determination. Then he tells us how to serve him. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. He gives us the intelligence, how to engage in his service. The Lord gives this direction, and thus the devotee's life becomes perfect. Whatever a pure devotee does is done by the dictation of the Supreme Lord. So a pure devotee, his only intention is how can I please Krishna? So whatever he does is for the pleasure of Krishna. Whatever anything and everything, whatever he speaks, whatever he does, wherever he goes, is only for the pleasure of Krishna. You see, we are in this conditioned state. Whatever we do, whatever we eat, wherever we go, is to enjoy either our senses or to please someone we are attached to. It's all based on the body. So that is material consciousness. But a pure devotee, he does everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Thus, it is confirmed by the author of Sri Caitaniya Caritamita that whatever he wrote was written under the direction of the Sri Madan Mohan deity. So Madan Mohan ji directed him to write. Say likhi Madan Gopal ye likhaya kastera putli ye na kohake nachaya. As a wooden doll is made to dance by a magician, I write as Madan Gopal orders me to do so. This is the position of a pure devotee. One should not take any responsibility on his own, but should be a soul surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who will then give him dictation as the Chaitya Guru or the spiritual master within. So Krishna is within our heart. He is the original spiritual master. He is the Chaitya Guru. We simply have to surrender to him, and he will guide us what to do. Here Prabhupada is saying one should not take any responsibility on his own, but should be a soul surrender. So we may say, oh, I will do a sinful activity and say I'm not responsible for it. No, we are completely responsible then, because we will be the one who will end up suffering. What this means is that we take complete shelter of Krishna. This is also evident in Srila Prabhupada's prayers on the Jaladuta, when he was on the Jaladuta going to America. So he, in his prayers to Krishna, he says, I'm a puppet in your hands. You make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you please. This is the mood of the pure devotee, that they are completely surrendered to the will of Krishna. As Krishna, here as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am like a wooden doll. You make me dance as you please. This is the mood of the pure devotee. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased to guide a devotee from within and without. From within, he guides him as the super soul, and from without, he guides him as the spiritual master. So the spiritual master is a representative of the Supreme Lord. He's a representative of the Supreme Lord. He's not God, but he's a representative. You know, like how we, for example, we are in Taiwan and we have the embassy of India. So there is an ambassador, and he has the powers vested in him to issue a passport, to give visa. You know, those powers are vested in him by the president of India. So he's the highest authority of India in Taiwan. So he's a representative of the president of India in Taiwan. So like that, they may be representative in Panama, representative in so many different countries, America. So this is the position of the spiritual master, that he is a representative of God, and he guides us by his instructions. And Krishna, who's the Paramatma in our heart, guides us internally. So both ways Krishna helps us. He's the spiritual master within and without. Simply we have to surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna begins by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the more we hear, the more we chant, the more we can take shelter of Krishna. Koladi Devata Mora Madana Mohana Yanra Sevaka Raghunath Rupa Sanatana. I accept as my family deity Madan Mohan, whose worshippers are Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Rupa Goswami, and Sanatan Goswami. So these are three of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan: Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatan Goswami. And they are worshipping Madan Mohanji. Madan Mohan is the deity of Sambandha, helps us to understand our Sambandha with Krishna, our relationship with Krishna. I'm eternal servant of Krishna. So Vrindavan Dasera Pada Padma Karidhyan Tanra Ajna Lana Likhiya Hate Kalyan. I took permission from Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur by praying at his lotus feet, and upon receiving his order, I have attempted to write this auspicious literature. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami took permission not only from the Vaishnavas and Madan Mohan, but also from Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is understood to be the Vyas of the pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So we can see that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is not acting whimsically. It's not that, oh, I want to write something, so I'm going to do it. No, he's taking permission from all the great authorities. He got that permission from so many of the great acharyas at that time, from Madan Mohan Jeti, and he's also asking permission from Vrindavan Das Thakur. Vrindavan Das Thakur has recorded Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in his book called Caitaniya Bhagavatam. As Srila Vyasadeva recorded Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vrindavan Das Thakur is called the Vyasadeva of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So we'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Caitanya Caritamita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Lord Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare